Welcome to the Headley Highlight Show's Headley Headspaces. And this Headspace is called Ginga Jay, the Outburst, the Fallout, and the Impact. Now, before I jump all over this Headspace, which is called Ginga Jay, the Fallout, the Outburst, and the Impact, I wanted to do one really important thing. The reason I've played that, not only because I can, because it's a very underutilized sound on my mixer board, but because, darlings, I have finally done it. I have reached 2,000 subscribers. In fact, I have 2,001 subscribers when I checked yesterday. And this is a major milestone for me because on the 9th of February, I had 62 subscribers and I had released 34 videos. And now I have 2,000 subscribers and I've released 250 videos. And it's such a fantastic feeling to know that you've put in these hours consistently, me and the production chap who supports me, and BB Links, that is. And we're at this space, and I couldn't have done any of this without those individuals who listen to my creativity every week, who share their comments, likes and shares, and also who donate because they know I'm partial to Three Wings and Trips and a Miranda. But yeah, I've actually broken through. So I'm now aiming for 2,100 and moving swiftly along in that direction also. So please do share, keep coming back and keep enjoying the content, and I'll keep showing up too. So now that I've done that fabulous preamble, I want to jump all over Ginga Jay, the Outburst, the Fallout, and the Impact. Now, I doubt that many people who listen to my show are familiar with an online show called Pen Game. So let me give you a little bit of background. Pen Game is a very successful, for want of a better word, rap show. Or it's a spitting bars, because that's the new term. I'm probably a little bit behind the wheel myself on that. But it's about people who effectively engage in spoken word, using music, and they battle each other. And depending on how good the music, the lyrics, the flow, and the punchiness is of those individuals who are participating, they win. And you have a whole range of quarterfinals, semi-finals, finals, and people need to work their way, obviously, to get to be in the final. Now, the show's been going, I think, for about 5 years, 6 years. And yes, back in the day, I actually submitted my own bit of spoken word to the show, which was unsuccessful. But moving along swiftly, the show has a strong establishment online. They have merchandise. People are employed as a consequence of that. And you have celebrities in the internet community and in mainstream culture appearing on the show often as judges. The show's creator and host is a guy called Margs, and Ginga Jay is his co-host. Now, what happened on this program, I haven't watched it for a couple of months now, but what's happened on this program is people get spin-off opportunities to appear in other productions, for want of a better word. And Mr. J went on to a online television program stroke show called Backchat. It's basically Black Chat, and it's young, I would call these young 30-somethings, 20-somethings sitting down talking about issues with an audience, and then there's an exchange of views, and sometimes people move to a different opinion. Now, I watched this donkeys ago, but I haven't watched it recently. And this particular production from Trend Central, which is the YouTube channel, but I also think that they're the people who created the show. This is at season 7, so you can see that this is an established show. So Mr. Ginga Jay, and the reason he's called Ginga Jay is because he has naturally occurring ginger hair and he's of African descent. So it's not a usual visual appearance that one would expect. So Mr. J goes on to the show and they have questions. And one of the questions was, do you see dating outside of your race as a form of effectively self-hatred? So if you don't date within your race, Do you think that's a form of self-hatred? And this was the conversation that the panel was having. So you've got 5 women and you've also got 5 men on the other side. And Mr. J was part of that collection of male participants. And the debate became a little fractious, to say the least. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the clip. Now, there's a copious amount of swearing in it, which is not usual for my show, so just bear that in mind. And if you can see past that swearing bit, just, you know, allow yourself a little bit of grace to hear a few profanities. In addition to that, there were some behind the scenes information that came out. And the reason I'm playing the tape is because I want you to have a better understanding when we get to the talking points. So this is Mr. Ginga Jay and his contribution to the debate. This was not his only contribution, but this is the contribution that's caused the most amount of conversation. So I'm going to play you the clip of Ginga Jay on this show, which is called Backchat. It is a bit long, okay? So just bear in mind that it might go on a bit. And I may interject in between just so that I can share some bits with you. So I'm not going to give you all of the stuff, but the bit that's really contentious is here. And this is him explaining why he doesn't want to date black women.
Attitude earlier.
Let me finish. Let me finish.
Ladies, you know you're proving his point.
So here's what we're not
I don't
gonna.
give a shit.
No, but I'm saying, no, but you're proving his point. Like.
I don't give a heck.
Wait. Let me say something.
That's not my man.
No,
My
let me
man's over there.
talk. Ladies,
And he likes
please.
my attitude.
Come on, please.
Watch this. No, wait, watch this. You just triggered me a little bit because you did something that all the other black women used to do. You asked me a question, you didn't let me answer it, and then you said you don't give a shit.
I don't though, that's the truth.
I know you don't, so what's the point of the conversation?
Because to me, your point is invalid.
And then what's the
So
point of
I
me?
don't care
So
for
why
the
would I keep
answer,
dating
that's
you?
why.
So why would I keep dating you?
No, but me is
So why would I keep dating
I know
you?
all the black women out there.
What
so
does it sound like?
categorizing
What does it sound
all
like?
of the black women over the couple
What
of
does it
black
sound
women
like?
that you dated.
Darrell was right.
You
What
just
does it sound
proved the
like?
point.
You proved Darrell's point.
Hello, can we hear from Darrell?
What does it sound like?
To me, it does sound like a little bit of a race thing. But don't kill me.
It is a race thing. I don't date black women. I stopped dating you for a reason. Stop trying to say that what I
They
didn't
want to
say.
know the reason.
I told you the reason.
He already said the reason.
I told you the reason.
He said the reason already.
Listen, here's what we're not doing. We're not going around it.
Let her finish. So can you let me finish?
Let me upset you. Let me. Pardon?
You said that she didn't let you finish. But could you let me finish?
No, I ain't got time for it no more. Dead that. Dead.
Yeah, I'm just going to interject slightly because what happened a little bit before that clip was one of the contestants said, well, don't you think your mum has particular attitudes that you're talking about? And then this is where this part of the conversation comes in. And then she then said to him, well, maybe you don't like black women or you hate black women. And that's how that came into the conversation. So I'm just going to jump back onto what came up next after this point.
Dead that. You had your chance. And watch this. Hey, watch this. You see, if we was having a conversation, because you was talking perfectly fine, no attitude, and you were delegating yourself perfectly fine, and then black attitude happened.
That's me.
He said to the lady who was curating the show, she was the host, black attitude happened. And then as a consequence of this black attitude, she responds in a particular way. I mean, what are all of these things that he's even coming up with? Let's jump back on.
And then watch this. Black attitude. Watch this. So then so that means So watch this. And then watch this. Watch this. So
Thing. It's a woman thing.
here's why I don't date black women. Nah, I did that. You wanna no? Here's why I don't date black women. Listen to me when I'm talking to you lot.
I'm listening.
Because you lot don't like to fucking listen.
I'm listening.
I don't date black women because you don't like to get put in your place.
Very condescending. You need to listen because he's talking. And then he says we need to be put in our place.
Which place?
your place.
Which
And when you
place?
get put in your place, you think you got taught like a man.
That's why they were
You're not a
cheating on
man.
you then.
You're not men.
That's why they were
Watch
cheating
this.
on you.
Stay in your
That's why
fucking
they
place.
cheated on you multiple
Black women-
times.
Yeah, I know.
Because you
I know.
put
And that's
no one
why
in
I'm
their
never
place.
going to be in your
That's
pom-pom
why you
ever
had to
again.
go dip out the pool.
I'm not with
Because
black
you
women
control
because you don't like to
nobody.
get put in your place.
Apologies,
Listen,
sir.
listen.
Apologies.
where?
Apologies.
Oh wait, you just wait. Did she just shoot? Did she just shoot?
What kind of
Did she just shoot? Go. Where's your hair?
I think Ginga Jay was having real difficulties because these collection of women were not accepting his viewpoints. And then he went in for the personal attacks and he attacked black women's hair. He also attacked how he looked. He also attacked black women as a group based on his own singular personal experiences. And now he goes on to further basically eviscerate himself on a public forum.
Where's your fucking hair? Where's your hair? Off your head, man. Where's your hair?
You're triggered.
Where's your hair?
Well,
I'm
that's
triggered.
supposed to hurt.
I said I was
You're
triggered.
triggered.
Did I not say I was
No.
triggered? Where's your hair?
No.
Where's your hair?
Looking ass nigga
Where's
about where's your hair.
Show me your hair.
No, he's
Show me your hair.
pressed. He's
Show me your hair.
pressed.
Take off your eyelash.
People. You're pressed.
Take off your eyelash.
You're pressed.
Take off your makeup.
You're pressed
I'll
because
bring-
you got
watch this.
cheated on.
I'll-
1,
no,
2,
yeah,
3,
yeah.
4.
Where? Watch
1,
this.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
6, 7, 8.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
Jumped it.
And I'll bring my natural hair
Jumped
Indian
it.
woman in here now.
And then what?
she looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on your
you're
shut up, man.
silent.
So he then says to this collection of black women on a black show, and the question is, why are you dating outside of your race? And the lady said the reason he's dating outside of his race is because no black women essentially want him because they've cheated on him in the past. He then says, I'm going to bring my natural Indian woman to the table. She's far more superior because she doesn't have fake hair and fake eyelashes. So let's listen to Ginga Jay.
Jumped it.
And I'll bring my natural hair
Jumped
Indian
it.
woman in here now.
And then what?
she looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on your blouse.
But the crowd was silent. The crowd
Out
was
here with
silent.
fake hair, fake
The crowd was
eyelashes.
silent.
You talking?
Got a big man press.
I'm pressed.
Pressed.
I press Indian girl. I'm definitely pressed. Like your hair. I'm pressed like your hair.
Because he hates black women.
I hate black women.
You, exactly.
I hate black women.
Exactly. But her.
I hate black women.
Quang, 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 quang.
After that, Ginga Jay leaves the set and then he goes backstage and he then seeks to bury himself further because he's annoyed now, and he talks about why he doesn't date black women because of one of the reasons is because he doesn't like the way his mother behaves. So he wouldn't want to be with someone that replicates that. But there are so many issues that occurred with this particular outburst. And I did say that this Headspace was going to be in 3 parts. So the first bit was effectively what he said, and I've shared that with you. And now this is what the fallout has been. The fallout has been that Ginga Jay, who was a relatively unknown individual, has been catapulted into the stratosphere of publicity for all the wrong reasons. He was sacked from the show that he was the co-host for, which was Pen Game, and subsequent to that he posted some apologies, but the apologies came before the sacking. And one of the reasons that he was sacked was because of the negative impact his comments were having on the brand, which is Pen Game. Now, for those of you not familiar with Pen Game has spawned many Me Too lookalikes. You have the Red Bull version of it, and then you've got other versions where people basically have rap battles, or, spitting battles online. But it's the forerunner, and it's the most successful. I think they even engage with Ministry of Sound when they go to have these events. So, they're linking into established retail spaces. And what I think Ginga Jay did, and he didn't really think significantly about it, was he thought he could just go on and spew particular viewpoints about black women that are only, I think, specific to him. But what I think he did allow, which I think is part of the fallout from his comments, is that he opened a space where other individuals and other communities came in to have their viewpoints spoken about black women in a negative way. He attacked black women on a public forum based on their appearance. And he talks about the fact that because they are wearing particular types of hairstyles and hair, makeup, they are less valuable as women. And because they are somehow diminished and debased in some way. And then he went on to exalt another race, that of I think his partner is Indian or Asian. And he said, I could bring her in here and she would effectively trump all of you because she's a natural beauty, whereas you are all augmented beauties. And I just was, one, very saddened that he had this opinion. Two, that he expressed it in the way he did. But in addition to that, he spoke so negatively about black women as a collective group. He said, this is why I don't date black women. So he's had some negative experiences, and those negative experiences he then extrapolates onto everybody. In addition to that, he used the language that black women can't be put in their place, which means presumably that Mr. J likes to, for want of a better word, I don't know, I heard the term bad up women. Either you do as I say, you listen when I'm speaking to you. He likes them particularly infantilized, which doesn't look great for the partner that he's with. But in addition to that, he's saying, if I can't infantilize you, I'm not interested in having a relationship with you. And also what I thought was poor showing was that the people on the panel who were with him, those men, they didn't say to him, sorry, don't do that. Don't speak about black women like that, because we all come from black women. So that didn't happen. Afterwards, it's like, oh, yes, well, don't do it like that. But during the debate, why didn't any of them stand up and say, that's not how you speak about black women. You shouldn't be saying those things. He was in effect, by their silence and their checking of this man, he was effectively allowed by them and given permission by them to lambast the whole section of the black female community. And subsequent to his outburst, the fallout and the impact, which is the final part of this Headspace, because my God, this is already going on long, is that there has been so much conversation now about the black female experience and this whole question around black women, their attitude, whether or not they can be spoken to, can they be controlled. And what happened this evening was I actually was in a YouTube space, and some of these attitudes were being expressed, and I obviously didn't agree with them, and I was debating why they were, in my opinion, not correct places to have an opinion. But the point is, it's now given space and given rise to this, and I think that Mr. Ginga Jay didn't consider in any way what could be the impact of the words he had. He said, look, if you're going onto a television show, the production team don't not have any idea about what you're going to say, because the reason they have a production team is so that they can curate it. They don't want to be removed from the channel that they're on or barred. So you're going to have some indication what the guests are going to say and what the guests are going to be like. And he's, I think, relatively new to this lineup. But the point is, he would have already had given some indication of where his opinion was. So it wasn't as if they weren't aware that he had that view. However, it doesn't appear to me that Mr. J had the professionalism to not only understand who his audience are, which is a selection of women who watch The Pen Game, which is the show he curates as a co-host, but also all of those women that you were offending. When you're talking about black women, you're talking about your people's aunts, their sisters, their grandmothers, their neighbors, their friends, their co-workers, their colleagues. These people are there out in the community, and you're speaking about them in a very generalized way. And that's one of the reasons why I think he had to be removed from the show, because he was damaging the guy's brand. And I watched an interview with Margs, and what Margs turned around and said, look, I work with women. I'm not just accountable to the friendship. I'm accountable to the business. I'm accountable to my co-workers. I'm accountable to my family. And if he is expressing particular viewpoints about women, by association, I might be in the same space, and so he's being let go. And this is another reason for me why he just seemed to open his mouth and not consider what could, the significant implications of that. He could never have figured that outburst would have led to this. I mean, the amount of videos and talk time and conversations that this has given rise to, and you've got a lot of men, especially a lot of black men, piling in and saying, yes, we don't want to date black women. We don't like their attitudes. We don't like the way they speak to us. Well, to me, you can't just you can't use your personal experience as an indicator for how everybody else is going to experience a black woman and in a relationship with a black woman. In addition to this, God, I know I keep going on about with in additions, and there keep being more of them. The other point about this I have to say is that if you actually visualize this person, Mr. J, he is short, and I think he was estranged from his family. But I often find that these very short men that spend a lot of time trying to beef themselves up, they often have what I call the Napoleon complex, short man syndrome. And I think this was very much on display because quite often, men are more interested in the opinions of other men as opposed to the opinions of women. And I think he was trying to impress those other men who were on the panel and who were in that room. And that's why he wanted to use humor as a way of putting down the woman who said to him, you date outside of your race because basically you're not a very, when black women don't think that you're desirable or useful in any way. And then he drew for the, where's your hair? I'm going to bring my Indian woman. He stood up. He took a particularly aggressive stance. Everyone was seated. He was walking towards the lady and standing up. And the whole thing just looked and smelled awful. So the fallout for Mr. J, as I said, is that he has been kicked to the curb from the show. Trend Central, that hosts the channel, has had significant number of views. I mean, I think they must have picked up another 100, maybe 200-300 new subscribers. And the show has received huge numbers of views. So it's worked out really well for them. But for the black women who he was talking about, it hasn't worked out well for those black women that he was making reference to. I would say not. Because the door's been open for particular types of conclusions to be drawn about us as a collective group of people based on the experiences of one person or potentially 2 or 3 people who have airtime on a TV show. So given that you've heard the whole excerpt, what do you think? What do you think about what he said? And what do you think about the fallout from what he said? Give me your thoughts, your 2 pence, your 3 cities, or your declining dollar price. Thank you so much for your listening. It was a bit of a long one, but we needed to give context. Don't forget to make a donation at deniseheadley.com, and why not subscribe? Click the notification bell and select all when you get the option. See you next week, and cut!